We are gathered here today on the solid tripod of the Tiger branch and brand of the Nigerian Bar Association, which is consciousness, conviction, and courage, to begin the first phase of our critical and constructive response to the decidedly insensitive, provocative, arbitrary, parochial tax agenda program of the Governor Akinwumi Ambode administration of Lagos State. To the horrible shock of Lagosians, we all woke up a few days ago to learn about the hyper-inflated rate of the so-called land use charge, which the Governor of Lagos State has escalated upwards 400%. Another notable tax increase is in the car registration fees, which is another wacky 300% or so. In the judiciary, filing cost of litigation has jumped up astronomically, pushing genuine but financially weak grievances away from employing and enjoying access to legal and judicial justice. We learned that the governor, at a recent meeting with some stakeholders, justified the increment of land use charge rates on the ground that the rates have remained static since 2002. According to the governor, Lagosians accordingly should be prepared to pay today's rates. Let me illustrate Mr. Governor's today's rate. One of our colleagues who regularly pays a sum of under 140,000 naira as land use charge for his office building received last week a notice of the land use charge demand. Now is to pay the meager amount of 2 million naira. Gentlemen, may I ask how many 140,000 naira can one get out of 2 million naira? The governor came up with the supposed escape route of the review. That is, aggrieved property owners could apply for reduction of imposed fees. We state that the said window is needless, shambolic, and will be turned into a viable engine for fraud and diversion of funds by officials of government. It is clear that if these regimes of tax are allowed to stay, Lagos State will have been turned into a toxic environment, a living hell. Even ordinarily in Lagos State, accommodation is only cheap and easily affordable, only for those who have the parks and under the bridges to sleep and dwell. Clearly, the sharp increase in ancillary property tax of the land use charge will have a bandwagon effect. Note the word ancillary, because your property will have been taxed before for all sorts of things and rates before this increment. There will be a bandwagon effect on all other services and functions in Lagos State, as owners of properties and services will automatically transfer their financial burdens to their customers, who will have to bear the burden of crumble under the weight. We think it's highly absurd for the governor of Lagos State to be seeking dialogue over the issue of the hellish tax regimes, which his government has deliberately and selfishly created the situation in the first instance. The governor is now meeting with stakeholders after legislation has been made. In our respective view, consultation ought to come before legislation and not the other way round. Our respectful and sober view is that the government of Lagos State has lost sync with the difficult and harsh realities of life for the people of Lagos State, and worse, has taken their support and goodwill for its government for granted. We use this opportunity of our press conference to demand for a scrapping of the move by the Lagos State government by its new tax regime to turn the state into a hell. Life will not only become too expensive, but volatile and dangerous. The government cannot hide under the developing Lagos into a mega smart city to kill Lagosians with pharaonic taxes. Must Lagos become a so-called paradise at the expense of the lives and limbs of Lagosians? Ambode should not let people regret voting for him for the first time and go on to reject him for a second term. I hereby announce that, as agreed and directed by my branch, the Nigerian Bar Association Ikeja branch, the most consistently progressive, the most patriotically committed, the most socially devoted branch of all the 125 branches of the Nigerian Bar Association, and to use the word of Dave Ajetomobi here 2 days ago, the epicenter of activism in the NBA, that if by Monday, the 12th of March 2018, the Lagos State government does not suspend or jettison completely the new land use charge rates, car registration fees, litigation fees in the courts, NBA Ikeja branch shall conduct Operation Walk the Talk protest in Lagos State as a phase 2 of the struggle against the economic genocide Lagos State government appears determined to wage against Lagosians. Thank you for your kind attention.